Welcome back to today's video. We're going to be talking about Jason Momoa and his tattoos. Let's get to the video and then we'll talk about it afterwards and kind of discuss everything about it. So let's get into it.
It's always funny when I see it. I'm like, whoa, it's so a lot. It's very a lot.
Yeah.
But I don't ever see it. I look in the mirror, I'm like, I can't see it. Aloha GQ. I'm here to take you through some of my tattoos.
Tattoos? He's very
They really talk
Samoan.
about like, these things live inside of you, and you're just like touching it to like bring it out. I don't crave it as much as like I'm called to it. I've never felt like, oh, I need to get that on me. It's always been like, whoa, this needs to happen, or this is like through definitive moments that needed to happen in my life, and it just feels like more of a calling than me choosing stuff and just putting random shit on my body. The first tattoo was this one right here. Took about 8 hours. It's an amakua. It's a guardian.
8
and
hours?
The shark. It's the mono.
Well,
I had this done right before my daughter
he
was
does
born.
rituals
So
with
I
his
was
tattoos.
26,
He
and
gets
I'm
stick and
44
poke,
now.
I'm
This
pretty
is my
sure.
first tattoo. Pretty gnarly because it's the biggest one I have and it's the first one I did. So I did it, this extension of it for this character that I'm playing on Chief of War. It really fit with that, so I've only really worn this
That's
with one
cool.
character right now. The next one I do on Minecraft, it'll have to be covered up. I didn't originally do this all the way down because I wasn't making it as an actor. This was for me. And you know, you don't want to have a bunch of tattoos on it. You're not gonna get a lot of jobs. And then now that I'm me, I can have the things that I'd like to have now. So I'm very thankful for that. I guess when we did the Dothraki stuff, I mean, it's funny because they wanted to cover this up and they always had like long bands, but I was like, guys, there's tapestry behind me that has this design on it. Why wouldn't it?
Extension of it, I think, for Aquaman.
And then when I did these, it's just sitting in the makeup trailer. And I just become obsessed with all that kind of stuff when you're building a character. So I just kind of came up with that. I came up with putting all the black around my eyes.
Sick.
You just get obsessed with playing a character, and I just enjoy that. When they design the sets, they're amazing, and they're not blue screen. When you actually get to walk into those sets, you're like, wow, it's beautiful to coexist with these other artists, and then wardrobe and props, and you get to see all these things, and you get to bring your work in with their work, and yeah, you feel huge. When I put on Aquaman, it's like, there's no doubt about it. I'm in the suit. The eyes go in,
all
I can just
over
be
his
talking
body.
to you, and then I'll step out and come back in, and I'll just look at you, and you're just like no eye contact. It's like looking at like a pit bull staring at you. You know, I don't really act regal at all. So, you know, there's a certain thing when you put on something, you want to change the way you feel, and very important, that wardrobe. And makeup. Obviously. Sorry, Jen. The Charles Baudelaire quote, "Être toujours ivre," which was always be drunken. With wine, with poetry, with virtue, with the idea of always being happy and being intoxicated with life. I'm pretty giddy about life, so it made sense. Pride of Gypsies,
I would
it's
say
just my handwriting. I have shitty handwriting.
he kind of has
so
that,
it's just all,
you know,
when you're like, what
golden
does that mean?
retriever.
Those scratches, that's just my handwriting. And so Pride of Gypsies is because a lot of my friends were Leos, and they are Lions, and we were all very houseless, I should say, and I still am. So we just kind of always moving in very nomadic lifestyle of filming, and obviously joining the circus as an actor, it just kind of felt appropriate for our production company. There's two other people that have Pride of Gypsies, my other two partners, Brian Mendoza and Thomas Paul. On the Roam, a lot of my team has the On the Roam, and that's turned into what it is now. This is like a core. What it all started with, and On the Roam now is most of my team. And they have those tattoos. The O, the T, it's like the crossroads, and then ROAM on each direction is Rome. And I have a show about that, and I use it for a lot of other things. This one right here is Diablo, which is after I think it's one of the most important men I've ever known, and the most impactful man. He died at like 81, I want to say, 82. That's what we call him, El Diablo. And he was amazing, and so it's just those mentors that you meet, and he's one of those people that just blew my whole mind, and well-read.
I feel like I just want to take in all these stories.
Enjoyed every moment just sitting with him talking. So that's like my children, the most important. I saved their name. When I first wrote their name, Lola and Wolf, so I saved that
on his chest,
they were different
on his
in
heart.
age, so I just saved hers and then saved his and put it together. So Lola Wolf on my heart. I have tons of friends with just the most random, crazy shit, and that perfectly describes them. And that's what's great about tattoos. They're little giggles and laughs and silly things, but yeah, these have all just been the right calling to do it. Oh yeah, there we go. The one I never get to see. It's always funny when I see it. I'm like, whoa, it's so.
He had the long hair,
and
now he shaved the sides.
But I don't ever see it. I look in the mirror, I'm like, I can't see it. It always looks pretty intense when you're like, geez Louise. And these are all tapped. So all the Hawaiian ones are tapped the traditional way. It has the E-haze right here.
Stick
so
and
protection
poke.
one right
Yeah,
here.
that's
Like
hard.
but that's for protection.
That's where
E-haze is spear. I'd rather
he
have it
kind of does
tapped. I
rituals
think
for
it's
his
pretty beautiful
tattoos.
because you're going back, centuries of humans being, making tattoos on themselves and mokus on themselves. And that's the sound that they heard. It's like the tack, 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 tack. And it's a beautiful, interesting sound. It doesn't sound like
Yeah.
an annoying, buzzing gun sound. And it feels so different. I feel like the gun is really like taking a fork and like scraping your skin instead of like when you feel that tap, it can cover more ground. You know what I mean? Because there's different lengths and sizes of them. So I think it probably moves a little bit faster. I think if you're gonna have precision in them, they're different. Like if with these, when you get them tapped, they'll be like the worst they've ever looked. With gun, I feel like that's the best it's ever gonna look because it'll eventually bleed out and all that kind of stuff. What's designed with this is that you'll have spaces, but it will, over time, fill that out. If it's done right by a master, it'll only get better and better.
I didn't know that.
My uncle,
I've never had a
Kyohei,
stick and poke.
is someone who rescued our culture and perpetuated and traces our genealogy. So my father has like a whole piece that goes down his leg that he waited till he's probably 50 to do. So I'll have to get that at some point.
Whoa.
And have another one that goes on the chest that'll probably do it. I mean, I've never experienced anything on that level before. It was a really
That's
beautiful
fun.
and purifying and like I've never had that kind of pain before. From here to here was you get to meet your ancestors for sure. You get to meet all of them. My Auntie Momi, who's like love of my life, and my Uncle Buffalo, I did at his house. The moments where I really needed help the most, I could just hear her laughing in the background, just doing who she is. And then out of nowhere, this hand goes into my mouth. As I'm like just breathing through it. So much intense pain, like where your every pore and every socket's just oozing water to like survive. She put salt pake in my mouth. And you just taste those beautiful crystals of salt, and it totally like rescued me. And she just knew.
This is such a story.
She really saved me in that moment. And the nice thing about this is it just hair goes back and it's gone, and it's for me. When it's shaved like this,
except for on your neck.
You can see it, but when it's not, I'm like, you're just covering up a little bit on my neck.
Yeah.
I don't have any regrets. Regretting it's not gonna help me now. This is where I'm at, and did I learn from it? Fuck yeah, I did. So. And they're all beautiful lessons.
That's interesting. Okay. I definitely think this is so Jason Momoa has a lot of Samoan background, and a lot of his tattoos kind of tell a story through his Samoan background, with it be stick and poke and the ritual side of the tattoos, because using a gun and doing it like we do here in America, it's very much, you go, you get the tattoo and it's cool. It's this artful thing. For them, it is very much a ritual. Like you said at the beginning, it's an expression of something you have inside you, and the tattoo brings it out. And so I know when he got these tattoos, he went through this ritual and expressed it and brought it out of him. And so it's very different than we see here in America of how they got tattoos. But it is very interesting, and it shows his life and tells a story of his tattoos, of who he is as a person, and shows the Samoan side of him. So very interesting.